Welcome back to our F1 Manager 24 Create a Team Career Mode. This is the pre-season episode for Season 2. And hopefully it's a season where we're maybe going to score our first ever points in Formula 1. And maybe, just maybe, you lot can get out the shed as well, as we may have enough money, I hope, maybe down the line, to actually purchase some upgrades for the board of directors, get an actual boardroom into the HQ. But today, we have a lot of stuff on our agenda. The first big one is replacing this man, Pato O'Ward. He is leaving us, and we found out last episode, even though he was courted by RB for quite a few months, really, because obviously we're skipping through months and simulating races since he first, told us about him maybe leaving the team. He's actually going to end up signing for Aston Martin. If we look at the contract here, contract agreed starting January 1st, 2025. He's going to be an Aston Martin driver, I assume alongside Fernando Alonso, which will be a pretty damn tasty pairing. Of course, like I said, although it is a little bit bittersweet to lose Pato, because I would have kept him on, to be honest. We grew him to 80 rated. He's decent, but I can see why he wants to leave. He is 80 rated. He's actually grown into a very decent driver. And, in a cool way, as one of you guys have said in the comments below, it's really cool that actually as one of the new teams in F1, the smaller teams, we're able to give O'Ward, that debut into Formula 1. And now he's basically becoming an established part of the grid by, going up the order, basically, and jumping up teams to Aston Martin. But Behrman, we've locked him in. We've got 2 years remaining. He is our, he's our Leclerc for what Leclerc is to Ferrari. He's our golden boy as it stands right now, and we're looking to replace Pato. Probably, I would say, with someone similar, like, maybe not someone we're looking long term, but at least maybe for the next season or two. It'd be maybe nice to lock someone down we could be happy with for 2 seasons. But let's see what the market's like, because I feel like our options are very limited. We already, what was it? We scouted Liam Lawson, and I was ready to offer him a contract, to be honest, because, he was rated decently. He's rated 80. We scouted him, and it seems like he's got a contract agreed for Red Bull. Very unlike in real life. Going to promote a junior driver to their team and replace Perez, it would seem, because it'd be weird for him to agree another contract with Red Bull if they weren't going to put him into the seat alongside Verstappen. But I don't know. I don't know how the contract system fully works. If this kind of confirms he's going to be a number 1 driver, like for the actual team or an affiliate. I don't know, because right now he's affiliate. So this may well be him re-signing for an affiliate. But even that, I would have had to have broken the contract. And you can see his salary is 1.4. And it's going to be for a year, but I'd have to buy out the entire contract and then pay him. So, and obviously you can clearly see by the bottom right, our finances are not great. And that's mainly because obviously we've been struggling for funds really ever since that 6 million sunken in to buy Guru, which was the head of aero, of course, from RB. We got Adam leaving us for RB, and we stole Guru, the head of aero for RB, right back off them, but there was a whole issue with the contract system and whatever, so we had to pay like 6 million to get his services. But it's an upgrade for us. He's 82 rated, Adam's 80, so that's positive. Clive Hatton, he's leaving us for RB, so that's why they're our number 1 enemy. Even though O'Ward has ended up going to Aston, I'm still pretty peeved off that RB even tried to get 3 people from us. But yeah, Clive is going to RB, but we've got Matthew Gaze, who's coming up from F2. That's going to be an upgrade for us on the sporting director side, so can't complain in terms of the upgrades we made in that kind of way, but just, a bad taste in the mouth of RB coming for the team so aggressively, really. I was very shocked at how aggressive their pursuit of our team members was. Anyway, yeah, let's look into drivers, because really, in terms of the calendar, so this is the end of the season. We've got till the 31st where all these contracts end. We don't care about the affiliate drivers because we've signed in advance Abby Pulling to come into the team. We've stolen her away from Alpine, but that's going to be our 1 affiliate driver sorted. We've obviously replaced these 2. We need to replace O'Ward, and then we just kind of need to see if there's any kind of housekeeping we need to do in terms of, the team to prepare it into the new season. And then, of course, stick around to the end, because we will be going through all the different driver transfers that I think are going to happen. It seems like there's going to be quite a few that are going to occur. At least, obviously, I think O'Ward Ward moving to Aston is definitely going to be a domino effect. We've already seen maybe Perez might get replaced, and one of you did say that Hamilton's move to Ferrari is hard-coded into the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that's actually true and seeing if that comes into fruition. So actually, because we're so close to the end of the season, a lot of the drivers who may have contracts or even are out of contract at the end of the year aren't interested in negotiating right now because we're so close and their contract's going to expire. So maybe they just want to be a complete free agent to see what's going on. So if you go through all the scouting, a lot of them are just not interested. But I've gone ahead and scouted 2 candidates that I think could be decent options for that, not permanent driver going forward, but just, you know, for the next season, season 2, bring a bit of experience, bring a different flavor maybe, you know, in the same way that O'Ward did maybe compared to Behrman. There's 2 options that I think could be really fun and quite a good fit. Option 1 is Alex Albon. He's at Williams right now. His morale is very low though. He's not interested in negotiating right now, but he could be into the next year, basically. He's got a contract till 2026, but maybe he's open to things. But the thing is, we would have to buy out his contract if we were to go for him. But he's very low morale, which means he would be open. I mean, his negotiation patience is very high. But the other option, which is maybe a lot more realistic for what could be possible in terms of not having to pay out a whole contract, is this man right here, Antonio Giovinazzi, Ferrari race winner in WEC. His patience is very high. His mentality is negative so-so. But more importantly, he is out of contract at the end of this year, this calendar year, 31st December 2024. So as soon as it ticks over that one day, he is going to be open to be, as it says there, available to be hired immediately. So there'll be no contract buyout. And if we look at his stats, it's pretty all right. Aggression's average, which is calm. And he's a pretty decent driver, actually. You know, 82 rated. He's unused at Ferrari, of course, because, you know, in this game, you know, you know, obviously in real life, Giovinazzi drives for the, you know, World Endurance Program for the Ferrari hypercar. Obviously in the game, the way they've simulated that is he's in the Ferrari team, but he's just an affiliate driver basically right now. And of course, remember, we've got Ollie Behrman in the car. He used to be a part of the Ferrari structure. We've had this story, obviously, that in season 1 and probably going to season 2, we will be still powered by Ferrari engines. So I think we can write a really nice second chapter to this plot point with aarava Archer GP by going for a Giovinazzi. He's a proven Ferrari winner, for God's sake, in World Endurance. He's got some experience about him. He probably knows of Behrman from their time together at Ferrari, in the game, so to speak, beforehand. You know, he'll be familiar with the Ferrari power unit. I think this is a really good option compared to the others around them, you know. Others just don't... There's no one else jumping out at me as much as Giovinazzi, honestly, compared to our other options. Porsche, like I said, done and done. We've done that so many times already. Antonelli, I feel like he's probably going to go to Mercedes by the looks of it, which is very exciting anyway, so I don't want to actually disrupt that. That'll be pretty damn cool to see that coming to fruition in the game. So I think we go for him. I think we go for him. And as we now look towards the end of the season, we've got a little bit of money here to spend, and, you know, that money... Yes, it can go into next year, but I feel like we should maybe, if we can, spend a little bit of that on some facility upgrades. And I'm thinking of doing the race simulator to boost the development of the drivers even more. So that will supercharge Behrman's growth, and it's 1 million. I don't think that's too bad, actually. Gets done in 9 days' time. I think that's a decent upgrade to do in the pre-season episode here. So we're going for it. 1 million spent on the race simulator. None of these we can upgrade. We're going to have to... We already spent quite a lot of money on refurbing the factory, of course. In operations, weather center, obviously we've got level 2, which has been pretty decent. To upgrade it takes 2.1. I don't think our car's just quick enough to make use of more accurate weather data, to be honest. So right now I'm going to leave that because, you know, even when we've seen something coming, we've made the call, but the car's just not quick enough to actually do anything about it or to make that massive leap. So gonna leave that for now, but I'm thinking about upgrading the hospitality area because that will improve the marketability of the team and the attractiveness in general, and that will help us get more sponsors, and that will help us get more money. And to build it only costs 1 million. That's all right. That's all right. I'm happy with spending 2 million on the hospitality area and the race simulator. And no, before you ask, unfortunately, no, there is not any room in the budget for the boardroom, I'm afraid to say. Even if it's 400k. No room. Absolutely no room. Sorry. The books, I've done the numbers on the books, and it's just not there. And here we are then. We approach New Year's Eve, the 31st of December. Not only is that my birthday, but it is the end of season sponsor review and board review. So for the end of season sponsor review, 1.1 million for the engagement. Okay, that's fine. Obviously, we didn't have any activities going on there. And overall, as a team, we did well. You know, in terms of activity funding, you know, we did all the engagement. We raced targets. We didn't fully match, but you can see we actually did very well. That's not bad. 14 million to 16 million. That's not bad. So title sponsor, Arcor, they were satisfied. So that brings our marketability up. So that's a big positive. Obviously, all of season 1, that was one of the things that we were doing well, which was the marketing and the sponsor objectives. And now we officially end the season, and we get the 11th best team. It's last place for the fastest pit stop. 2 points, 600k. I'll take it. But yeah, your mentality's low, mate. I could not care, brother. You are leaving us. Who cares? And in the Drivers' Championship, just a nice little overview of things. So, Bearman, obviously, 0 points. Awards, 0 points. Bit painful, but it's going to make this journey so much sweeter. Like, imagine if we can finally get points in Season 2 here. It'll be such a reward for me and also for you guys sticking with this series and watching every episode. 0 points for the team, of course. Team rating, 1 star. It has gone up, though, apparently. So we must have been on 0. We must have literally been on 0, and now we're on 1 star. So overall, we critically failed the performance. They targeted 9th place. We only got 11th. Long-term objective, we've got 4 seasons to go to try and score points in 50% of the season's races. Now, I showed you guys the confidence of the board race to race, though. They were quite delighted. They were very satisfied. So I really think the performance target here was a little bit ambitious in terms of if the standings are going to be so harsh for how it calculates if you're 11th or 9th based off you're both scoring 0 points. Based on the team's performance, the board have updated the team rating. So my team principal rating's gone from 250 to 0. Oh, I'm so washed. I'm washed. If I get fired from this team, I may be homeless. I may be asking to join the shed. But the team rating's gone up. Team rating up to 70. We've got no heritage, no drivers, no constructor ratings, but at least we've got the board on our side, huh? And overall, we end up with a medium confidence. I'll take it. I thought we were about to be cooked there, because we got to 0 team principal rating. I will take that. 750k for the medium board confidence. Fair play. I'll take it. I'll accept that. So going into the new season, the target's the exact same. 9th place in the Constructors' Championship. Obviously scoring points in 50% of the races this season, and I'll be accepting this new target and not switching teams, but you can do that eventually down the line in this series. I think what will be really cool is, a scenario where we've won the championship with aarava Archer GP, and then we could leave and we could race against our own team whilst they've got that championship pedigree, something that you can't do on the other F1 game. So take note, Frontier smashing it with that ability. That's going to be a really fun thing to be able to maybe do down the line. But right now, we're fully focused on getting this team, not even to the top, just into some points, really, please. As we start a brand new season and we go through all the regulation changes, prepare for car development, and check into the team's mentality ahead of another thrilling season of Formula 1. We're going to be obviously sticking with the Ferrari power unit and, bolstering this relationship we've had with them now for 2 seasons. Having Behrman still in the team and potentially an incoming Giovinazzi could be very strong if we can sign him, and that would be a really strong kind of affinity with them. And that is not a nice sight to see, is it? It is. That actually hurts. That hurts. Seeing O'Ward in the Aston Martin overalls, as he's still showing here in the home screen as part of the team, but of course it's very clear he is joining Aston Martin. That's a nice little touch. It's a goodbye, Pato, as we now go towards looking to see if we can hopefully secure the services of Antonio Giovinazzi. Right, Giovinazzi now is an official free agent. He's open to negotiation. He's got a high patience for it now into the next year. Let's see if we can get him. We've got 2.3 million before any sponsors come in. So if we pay him 1 million upfront signing bonus, and I'm promising him 80k if he gets 10th place. Like, if he gets a point in these seasons, he will get 80k. I'm putting his salary up to 1.5 million. I feel like that is the maximum we can really go for this. 2 seasons. I wouldn't mind if he's here for 2 seasons. I really don't know how season 2 is going to go in terms of car performance, whether it's another building year. Let's see. I don't know. But right now, the cost to break will be, well, $700 because he's a free agent. It will be 1 million for the bonus. That's fine. We've got a bit of money to spend before we start even getting money for for the actual next season coming up. Please, please, please. Let's have it in. Bingo. We have got it. We have got it. We have got the services of a Ferrari race winner, Giovinazzi, alongside Behrman. Let's go. Let's go. The total cost of it now is going to be 1 million. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. We're going to ignore the slightly unfortunate driver photo there. I feel like his neck is just so large. It's breaking the fabric of our driver suit. Okay, that's the only way I can explain it. But this is great. We've got Behrman, Giovinazzi, our staff. We've got Guru in as our head of aero. We've got Matthew Gaze as the sporting director. Some lovely signings. Some lovely, lovely signings for this new season. Affiliate, of course, we've got Abby Pulling in there as well. That is great to see her grow and have F1 Academy representation in the team. Our hospitality got done. Our hospitality area and the race simulator as well. So that's also another positive in terms of the facilities. Sponsor negotiation is going to be very important now because obviously right now we've only got 1.3 million. So we do need some money coming in ASAP. So Arcor were our title sponsor in season 1. We can now go for a bit more money, potentially with other title sponsors. Total funding for Faro Energy would be 51 million, and then Edward Swift would be 47 million. But we actually get more up front with Faro Energy, and they overall have more. But the performance reliance is quite high, whereas you can see Edward Swift is not so much. And if we base off last season, we are not going to be doing too well on the races. Well, I mean, obviously, I hope we are in Season 2 compared to Season 1. But I think Edward Swift, it's only, what, 4 million less? Up front, maybe not as much, which is a little bit, but we're getting more on the engagement side, which I don't mind doing, and it's less reliant on the race day. And overall over the season, we're still getting only just 4 million less. And to be fair, 4 million, that could fit inside the cost cap we didn't spend last season. So we'll go with Edward Swift. Gonna go for these secondary sponsors to add on. So I think that's a good amount of money. 84 million that is now, up from that 47. So that's a good chunk of change being added on there. I'm really happy with that. And it also doesn't include any actual mandatory things the drivers have to do, which I'm happy about. So overall, 84 million funding. We're gonna get 18 million up front, which is fine. 55 from engagements, which is really good. Only 10 million for the race, which is decent. So overall, it's moderate reliance. Performance is the VIP activity. That's all good with me. That's decent. And with the new sponsors come some slightly different race suits, as we're going to change over to the new title sponsor in the middle. Very thin lettering, I must say. So maybe not the biggest visibility possible, but hey, I'm not the one that designed their logo. Change the design a little bit, actually. I'm going to go for the flat stripe because I think that actually complements Edward Swift sponsor logo a little bit better. We got Bad Turtle now on the front as well, just because I really like that logo, and they are a sponsor of the team, so it's actually automatically been changed onto the sleeve, but I think it'd be really cool to have just a little tangible change on the front as well, because when we save this, it'll be visible then from the main menu, obviously. So there we go. We can just about see Bad Turtle then in the driver photos, and of course, when we see them in the actual, the cutscenes and whatnot, it will be a slightly different suit change, but of course, the colors remain the same. The car livery remains the same with our actual aarava livery in there. We've now got the entirety of January until Feb, until the season gets underway. So I think it's time actually to start doing some upgrades here, really. I think chassis is going to be a big area we can improve upon before the first race of the season. Let's put a decent amount of CFD and wind tunnel time into that. And actually, this will be the first inkling of where we stack up on the grid. So, we're quite low on low speed, Low speed, very, very poor. That might owe to the suspension, I guess, that we didn't upgrade over the winter break. But we actually have made a decent step up in other areas. So, interesting. I haven't looked at the R&D chart yet. With the plugin, so we'll do that towards the end of the episode where we wrap up all the driver transfers, etc. But interesting to note that. So I think, chassis, we can't really tangibly change low speed, but I think we'll get another upgrade on that will try and improve that low speed, because that is pretty poor. 21st place compared to 11th for medium speed. Gonna go with a slight skew towards drag reduction without kind of, downgrading other parts of the car. So we're gonna improve on the top end speed and acceleration, which is always a positive in races, obviously, to make overtakes. I'll put 4 engineers on that. We'll go for a normal approach right now, because I don't want to be spending lows off the bat and, before we really see where the car is. But definitely want to try and improve the low speed if we can. Gonna go with the front wing design with this setup with the skewing. This is how we can improve the low speed by at least just 2. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's something at least. It is something. Maybe, no, that weight really doesn't really help that much. Maybe a little bit. Nah, I'm going to leave it at that. Yeah, that low speed's really low. We do have to... I think all our upgrades are going to have to be trying to improve that low speed, because that's going to screw us over. Ironically, at places like Monaco, where we did so well in Season 1 with our first ever exit in Q1. Right, get that going, 1.8 million. Maybe let's do suspension, because we can also improve tyre preservation then as well. So I'm using my entire ATR period already. 1 million spent there, so we've already spent a decent amount of money there. We're down to 16 million, but 3 different designs on the way, which I'm happy about. But actually, with that, we've used all our ATR period. So at this point now, we're waiting for these designs to get done. We're going to manufacture them, hopefully, ready for the first race. So now I think it's time to delve into the R&D chart and actually see where we stack up, because we had a little inkling there by the numbers, but it's very hard to visualize where we actually are with those numbers. Before we get to that, I just had a little sneak preview of an email we just got. Let's stick with the email first, because it is the full list of driver transfers, and I saw something in the preview that well, I think this is going to be a bit of a jaw dropper. Are you ready? This is the 2025 F1 grid here in the game. Bearing in mind, obviously, we've got Behrman and Giovinazzi. We know O'Ward is going to Aston Martin, or has gone already to Aston Martin. Here we go. Here's the roster. Red Bull have got Liam Lawson and George Russell. Where the hell has Max Verstappen gone? What? I'm sorry. No surprise McLaren stick with Piastri and Norris, but Red Bull, what the hell? Crazy. And look at this. Before we even scroll, the team signing that everyone is talking about is Max Verstappen, who officially joins Mercedes next season after a 10-long-year career with Red Bull. It is a 1-year contract for 34.5 million a year. That is crazy. So Red Bull have lost the services of Verstappen. He's been romanced by Mercedes on a 1-year contract, basically before the 2026 big regulation change, basically just so he can keep his options open again for the new year. And that's a huge contract, 34. So that's then meant it's basically a swap deal in a way, because Russell's gone the other way and he's gone to Merc. Of all people, he's left Merc. and he's gone to Red Bull. We already knew Liam Lawson could have been a possibility because we saw he had a contract in place with Red Bull. I thought it may have still been for an affiliate, or at least just replacing Perez. I had no idea they were going to go and replace Verstappen as well. Or Verstappen was going to leave Red Bull, sorry, and leave them hanging. That is crazy. So it's Lawson and Russell at Red Bull, Piastri, Norris at McLaren. We can see Ferrari and Aston here. Drum roll. This is the moment of truth. Is that Hamilton move coded into the game? It is. It is. Oh, and Aston don't even have Alonso. It's Leclerc and Hamilton, as it will be in real life in 2025. Here in the game, Leclerc and Hamilton in Ferrari. But Aston, I thought it was going to be a pretty strong pairing of Alonso and O'Ward. But it's Gasly and O'Ward. That's okay. That's a pretty solid lineup for Aston, to be fair, to be honest. But where's Alonso gone then? Where's Alonso gone? Because the top of the email did mention some retirements, so maybe Alonso in the game here is just retired. I don't know, but that's a pretty unreal set of driver transfers. F1 24, eat your heart out. Do better, F1 24. Do better. These transfers are unreal. I'm still jaw-dropped over this. Verstappen joining Merc for a one-year deal, 34.578 million. That's absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Right, we'll continue to scroll. Here we go. The next set of teams are going to be Mercedes and RB, our number one enemy. Let's go. Mercedes. Oh, that pairing is what? Brother. That is a really that lineup for RB that's not pretty. That's not pretty at all. But look at this lineup. Antonelli alongside Max Verstappen. That's so mad. That's sick. That's sick. I can't believe it. Verstappen's actually joined Merc here in the game. Oh, my days. 92 rated Verstappen at Merc. Antonelli, 81. Verstappen won the championship, I want to point out, with Red Bull last season. Red Bull were the Constructors' champions. And he's left. He's left for a one-year deal, getting bank from Mercedes for 1 year alongside the new hotshot Antonelli. That's mad. RB, I mean, no wonder they were trying to steal O'Ward, because I assume it was going to be Ocon and O'Ward, and they've been left high and dry with just Ocon, so they had to scramble and sign Schwartzman, which is a really naff signing, I feel, for them alongside Ocon, because they were actually scoring points quite well, actually. So it's all change at RB. Surely this is more because Tsunoda and Ricciardo just jumped ship and they've signed for someone else or retired in the case of Ricciardo, because that is a very weird lineup to actively want to go for RB. As we scroll down now, the next team's Williams and Alpine, and it's going to be Sainz and Magnussen at Williams. Sainz joins Williams just as he does in real life. But this is actually a real surprise and a pretty strong lineup for Alpine. All change for them. That's actually a decent lineup. Annoyingly, that's a decent lineup for Alpine. Obviously, Alpine were a team we were looking to aim for as, you know, a team to try and, beat in races. Tsunoda and Bottas, that's a decent little lineup for Alpine, to be honest. I'm actually a little bit annoyed at that, because that's going to be solid for them, I think, in their fight versus us, trying to keep us at bay, hopefully this season, challenging them, challenging for more. And then we scroll down for Kick Sauber, where you can see the names. Haas have Perez, Hulkenberg. Oh, that's actually pretty okay, you know. Hulkenberg and Ricciardo for Kick Sauber, Perez and Paul Aaron. That's very surprising. That's pretty cool as well, to be fair, because I feel like a lot of people have been very, it's a shame that Paul Aaron's been overlooked. He's been doing so well in Formula 2, and then you've got Behrman and Antonelli getting the big talk for F1, whereas Aaron's been doing the job, but just not in the frame for an F1 seat. So here in the game, he is going to get his F1 debut alongside Perez. That's sick, man. That's awesome. And obviously then we've got us with Behrman and Giovinazzi. What a grid. What a grid. Although I want to point out then, so Alonso's not on the grid. Alonso has he retired? Maybe he's retired. I think Alonso surely must have retired, but And we've lost Lance Stroll as well. So both Aston Martin drivers are out of a job. I think Alonso is probably retired. Stroll just out of a job. But what a lineup this is. What a lineup. Incredible. I actually think in the history of F1 driver transfers in career modes, be it F1 Manager or the Codemasters games, from memory serves from the last couple of years, different F1 games we've done over the last couple of years, this might be one of the juiciest set of driver transfers and a new grid for a new season I've seen in a long while. That is crazy. And I just want to reiterate again, F1 24, do better, because I got some shockingly boring transfers for my Season 2 in F1 24. If I don't see better ones in Season 3, I'm kicking off and using this video as an example, because this is thrilling. This is amazing. And so with that, we've seen the driver transfers, and now finally to round out this video for pre-season of Season 2, it's time to look at the performance chart. It's a little bit difficult because, of course, it's all flatlining because there's no actual carrying on from last season. So you can't really see it relative to where we've come from Season 1. But if you look at the left-hand side, you can see what the pecking order is, and then the chart for how close things are, basically, is how I'm looking at it. Otherwise, it's very difficult to tell from the lines. But this is very interesting. So Leclerc and Hamilton, as a pairing, they're going to be in a Ferrari that technically is going to start the season as the best car on this grid. Red Bull very close behind. McLaren maybe seemingly have lost a bit of performance there because they were actually above Ferrari for a little bit, I think, and were the ones closer to chasing down Red Bull a bit, I feel. So they've definitely lost maybe a little bit in the off season, I guess. Aston and Mercedes very close, and that just shows how much more of a shock that is. And no wonder Mercedes are having to pay Verstappen like over 34 million, because he's taken a step down from Red Bull to Mercedes. They're the 5th best team. They're lower than Aston, so obviously Merck will be hoping that just Verstappen as a driver can drag that car up whilst Antonelli is growing as a junior driver. But that's very riveting. So it'll be Leclerc, Hamilton in that best Ferrari fighting Lawson and Russell in the Red Bull, Oscar and Lando still in the McLaren then, as that stays put. O'Ward, fair play. He's taken the jump from where we are all the way up to Aston Martin. You can see why he would want to leave, and, you know, who am I to stop him? So it's going to actually be a proud moment if O'Ward is, you know, scoring his first podium in F1, because I'll know that I was the one who enabled him to get his debut and get his foot into the door in the F1 grid. Then you've got a big gap, big gap. So it really is going to be Formula A, maybe A.5 with Aston and Merck, but they're quite close relative to the gap that is then there to Formula B. So with a regulation change, you know, the smaller teams, they do suffer sometimes, and we all have suffered. It's VCarb that leads the way, though. Then there's a bit of a gap to then Haas and Williams a bit close together. Let's pay attention to the bottom there, because you can't differentiate the distance on the lines between ourselves, Alpine, and Sauber, but we are actually just ahead of Alpine and Sauber. So those research parts we did coming into play, it's going to be very close. I mean, to be fair, let's be real. This was kind of already how it seemed in the races at the end of Season 1. We were close with Sauber and Alpine. We're actually beating them, to be fair, in the last couple of races. So really, I'm looking already ahead at Williams and Haas. We need to try and get towards them in terms of the R&D chart, because then that's where I think we'll finally be able to crack the duck and actually get that first championship point in Formula 1. But that's pretty exciting and signs of progress. That is signs of progress into Season 2, and it's now us about, again, doing some upgrading and hopefully having maybe a bit more meat to chew into in Season 2. I mean, we saw it in Abu Dhabi, to be fair. Behrman was making some overtakes. We were actually having a fun race in Abu Dhabi. So if there's more of that here in Season 2, coupled with the chance of actual points at some point, then it's going to be a cracking Season 2. a nice evolution into the next one. And hopefully, hey, maybe by the end of the season, you guys could get out the shed. But that has been the pre-season, a pretty damn exciting one, I must say, for season 2. The next episode obviously will be the beginning of the brand new season. Guys, if you have enjoyed this one, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.